really excited. We're going to be covering some great stuff today. So today specifically, we're going to be talking about the 3 secrets to algorithmic trading. I'm going to share with you guys 3 secrets. And basically, it's about, how to make money trading without making expensive and emotional mistakes. All right. So a lot of times when people trade, they make a lot of mistakes based off of emotion that ends up costing them a heck of a lot of money. And we're going to help you fix that today. All right. Hey, so are you guys ready to get started? Awesome. Okay, great. Cool. So a few key points before we get started. All right. So first of all, if you've ever lost money trading in the past, it's not your fault. You're probably trading off of emotion and you didn't have any data to back you up, right? So a lot of people go into trading and those listen to some YouTube videos or something like that and expect to do well first time around. In my experience and definitely our clients' experience as well, having that data back you up is very, very helpful. It's going to make your life a lot easier, a lot better. All right. Number 2, if you've ever been concerned in the past they can't succeed with trading, I want to put those fears to rest. You can definitely do this. You just need the right person to teach you, right? You just need the right person to go through this with you, right? Number 3, the big hedge funds, they want you to think that you need a PhD to make your own algorithms. People want you to think that. They have their own reasons to think that, but they are absolutely wrong. I have seen people create algorithms that barely knew how to use a computer when they started with their program. When they got through this, they're actually making some very sophisticated algorithms. I'll show you a couple of examples of people like that today. You definitely do not need a PhD, and especially with the way that we've set up our program, to be honest with you, you don't even really need to code. We're working on a brand new thing now where it's going to be one button click and you're going to be able to run an algorithm. We're making it easier and easier and easier constantly. Number 4, if you ever thought that banks want you to fail, you're probably right. They don't benefit from your success, not directly, right? What they want is they want to keep you and your money under their control, right? They make money by holding on to your cash and doing things with it, right? You making money is a secondary thing to them, right? So if you ever thought that the banks are not really on your side, you are actually right. They are on their own side. There's a little bit of an overlap, but for the most part, it's not always going to be on your help you out in the long run. Right? And then number 5, and I know you have a dream to make a lot of money and to make a big impact, and also to be able to travel, go to Florida, that type of thing, right? I know I definitely love doing that as I'm here in Florida right now, which is amazing. Very peaceful and amazing. So I know you guys have a dream and you want to make lots of money. You want to be able to do all the sorts of things like travel and all that. And I want to show you how to do that during this webinar, right? I want to show you how I'm able to do that. I'll tell you my story, why I'm able to go to Florida for 2 weeks and just hang out here by the beach. We literally have, by the way, our apartment right now is incredible. I wish I could show you. It's night outside right now, but we are literally on the beach. Like I walk outside of my door and I am on the beach, like not, driving there or anything, like literally 30-second walk. It's crazy. So I want that for all of you guys too, right? I want to show you how I did this and how you guys can accomplish that as well. Right? Okay, so before we start though, I want to say who this is for, right? We really want to, we're really after 2 different types of people. This is really for 2 different types of people, right? It's for people that are investors or traders who've never coded before. If you've never coded a day in your life, this is for you, okay? We've made this stuff super, super simple. And as I mentioned before, we're making it even simpler. In the next 2 or 3 weeks, we're rolling out a new thing where it's going to be literally one button click to launch an algorithm for you. It's going to be super amazing, super easy. We're working with the partners at Replit to make that happen. But if you're an investor or trader and you've never coded before, first of all, you get a clear path to learn how to code if that's what you want to do. You don't necessarily even have to. And you also you learn how to very quickly start applying this to your trading, right? So if you want to learn how to code, you want to make your own custom algorithms, we'll show you how to do that. We also have a lot of programs for you where you really just don't need to code. There's a lot of things where we'll do it for you. You could join our live classes. There's a lot of things where again, you could use our own existing algorithms, little like click a button, get started, right? We have a lot of things for you. So if you don't know how to code, you are definitely in the right place, right? So we have, again, lots of code that you can copy and paste. We have AI tools that can help you out. There's so many things that we can do for you if you've never coded in your life before, right? But then again, it's also for those of you if you're an experienced programmer. If you're someone who's a trader and investor, if you've been doing this for some time and you're an experienced programmer, well, we'll teach you how to apply these skills to finance, right? We'll teach you how to go from coder to an algorithm developer, to say the least, right? We'll give you access to dozens of advanced trading strategies. We have lots and lots of strategies that are absolutely amazing, and you'll be able to look at those, either use them right out of the box, copy them, modify them. You're going to get a lot of sample code to work with. And you're also going to get access to a thriving community of people that are building algorithms together. It's really amazing how we all work together to build these things. If you join our live classes, it's awesome. So if you are someone with a lot of experience programming, this is also for you. We can take your abilities and take it to the next level. We're also planning on putting something together where if you guys are programmers and you want to build your own algorithms, we're in the future going to be building out our own hedge fund. We're actually in the process of building our own hedge fund. So if you're someone that wants to build out algorithms, you can actually even sell them to our hedge fund. We can rent them from you and pay you for that as well. That's not something that's available yet, but it's something that we're planning on doing in the next few months. All right. So if you are a programmer, you're definitely in the right spot as well. All right. Yeah. So here's my goal for the presentation. I want to start off the presentation with a clear goal of like what we're trying to accomplish here. And really my goal is to get you to believe that algo trading is the key to unlocking incredible success in trading and investing. And I'm going to show you my proprietary frameworks that'll make it very simple for you to achieve that result, right? So I'm going to make this really easy for you guys to be able to go through this, and you'll see how you can really go from having no experience in doing this stuff to having this up and running, in 30 minutes or less. We'll show you how to do that sort of thing as well. Okay, but before we get to that, do you guys want to save some money? Who here wants to save some money? I feel like that's a yes from everybody. So if you guys want to save some money, make sure that you stay until the end. You will get a coupon code to save even more money on all of our plans. All right, so make sure you stick around to the end. If you do, then we're going to give you a coupon code and you can save a lot of money. So make sure you stick around to the end. Okay, cool. So here's our agenda. So what we're going to cover today is we're going to, first of all, I want to share these slides with you. So let me get these slides. All right, that's shared with you. All right, so I shared that with you guys. There's a link to the presentation, so you can go through that. And so if you want to follow along, if there's any links that you want to click in there, if you want to, use anything that we're going through here, that is the link for you. So just check the Zoom chat and you'll be able to get the link to those slides. All right. Number two, what we're going to do is we're going to get to know you guys. So I really want to know who is on the call. This way I can tailor this presentation to you, really make this more relevant to your specific situation. But also just, you guys are the stars of the show. I really want to get to know you, and I want to get to know where you're coming from and what we can do in that situation. Perfect. Okay, so we'll find out who's on the call. Then I'll tell you about myself afterwards. I'll tell you my story, kind of where this all came about. And then we're going to dive into the secrets. We're going to cover 3 different secrets here, secrets 1, 2, and 3. I think you're going to find these things very useful, and we have some good stories to go along with that to kind of drive home the point. Then I'm going to show you a couple case studies of students that have gone through our program before. I think you'll be very impressed with what some of these people were able to accomplish. Then we're going to go through, what is our all access plan? If you guys want to join for our full program and you want to be part of our all access plan, I'm going to tell you about that and how all that works. And then I'm going to show you how to get that all access plan if that's what you would like to do, right? And I also have a spot at the end for questions. However, the questions, please don't feel like you need to wait until the end. Make sure that if you have a question, just ask beforehand so that So we can answer it right away. You don't have to wait until the very end. All right. Okay, cool. Any questions before we get started? All right, fantastic. Okay, so let's get to know you guys. So if you guys could just type this into the chat, the answer to these three questions, and I'm going to copy and paste them into the chat as well, so we have them available there. If you could let me know, what is your occupation? Number one. Number two, do you know how to program? And number three, how much investment experience do you have? Right, so if you could type that into the chat, please let me know, and I'll give you guys a second for that.
You have a baby? How was I sleep? I don't have a baby. Someone left me at the fire hall last night. It had
Okay, so we're getting some stuff here.
was shaping up to be an unexpected
Sorry,
person.
Carlington, I'm hearing some background noise with you. I'm just gonna mute you here.
Very much.
Okay, just hearing some background noise there. Okay, so we got some people writing in here. So we have William Bailey, who's a physician with minimal programming experience and been trading for 4 years. Welcome, William. This sounds fantastic. We actually have a lot of doctors that join our stuff. Someone that was a physician or that is a physician joined our program actually just like 2 weeks ago, I think. So I was actually helping him out. I always love speaking with doctors. Thank you very much, by the way, for your service. I know it's a hard job, so thank you very much for that. And the fact that you have minimal programming experience, again, as I mentioned, really not, it doesn't matter, right? We can get you this stuff without any programming experience as well. We've made this program easier and easier and easier every single time. And again, we're even working on making this something that is a one button click where you guys can get started that way. Okay. I have Law Wash here, who's a professional small business owner. Very cool. We also have a lot of business owners as well. I definitely know what it's like to run a business. So it's fantastic. So welcome on board. And Carlington says, okay. DV, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name correctly, but DV Mendoza says, Gardner, don't know how to program and just started learning how to trade. That sounds very cool. Amazing. Awesome. So welcome, DV. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And again, if you don't know how to program, that's perfectly fine. You really don't need to program for a lot of this stuff. If you want to learn, you can really get very good at this stuff and you can build your own custom things and that sort of thing. But we have a lot of things that you can just use right out of the box. And we've made this very easy to get started, right? And if you're just starting to learn how to trade, this actually could be a very good start for you, right? I know a lot of people have joined us in the past that have never traded or have, just kind of started learning how to trade. It's actually a very good thing because it could accelerate that learning curve and help you avoid making a lot of costly mistakes. So a lot of people, they start off trading, they get some very bad advice and tend to either blow up their account or lose a bunch of money. So we can help you avoid that sort of thing by using data and showing you how these types of things actually work. Right, we have Ash here as well. So it says, I am Ash Jory. I'm a trader, but does not have programming background. That makes sense. I've said that a few times. You definitely don't need to have that programming experience. You have 5 years of trading experience. That's fantastic. You trade E-minis and stocks, so futures and stocks. That sounds very cool. We've built a lot of algorithms for both of those, actually, especially the stocks, but the E-minis as well. I've helped build out a few algorithms for that too. So it's very cool. If you're good with futures, you could actually make quite a bit of money. You can lose a lot of money, but if you're good at it, you could also make a ton of money using futures because you get that leverage. So it's very cool. Welcome, Ash. Loss, continuing here, says no programming experience and 50 years of investing on and off. Wow, that's quite a bit of experience investing. That's amazing. It sounds like you really know what you're doing. So welcome on board. I think that's fantastic. And maybe I'd be even interested to know, what type of investing do you do? What kind of assets do you tend to buy and sell? I think that'd be great. Gil is here, says sales manager, aero engineer. Very cool. Sounds like a very interesting profession, by the way. Minor programming. Been playing with ThinkScript. That sounds good. I think we might have actually talked before, Gil. ThinkScript is there's a lot of limitations to ThinkScript. We can get into that a bit further. We can get into that a bit further, where ThinkScript is actually not a very good thing. Is not a very good thing for programming algorithms, because there's a significant amount of limitations, right? So if you could, if you want to learn a little bit more, I'll tell you kind of, what the details of that are, and why we use Python instead. I think you'll find that you have a much better ability to do things using Python. So we can get into that in a bit. I've been trading options for several years. It sounds very cool, especially for options. Using Python, there's a lot more things that you can do with options. I'll show you a couple of options algorithms today as well. Right? Okay, Osama says, Valiant, please. I'm not sure what you mean by that. And then Carlington says, automotive technician, no programming experience. That sounds great. Awesome. Again, you don't need any programming experience to get started. If you want to learn, we can actually teach you how to do that stuff. But even if you have no interest at all in programming, we can actually get you started and show you how to get all this set up without that. Right? Okay, cool. So thank you guys. It's fantastic to get to know you. Osama Mohammed Nurse, very cool, awesome. Thank you, Osama. That's great to know. And again, thank you for your work. I know how much work people put in when they're nurses or doctors. So I really appreciate your help there. With as well as I think everyone feel that way too. Lamar says, I'm a painter. That's very cool, Lamar. And Law says, Law Wash, sorry, I invest in long-term stocks and EFTs primarily. Started 50 years ago in 8th grade with penny stocks. Wow, that's a very early age to get started. Very cool. Penny stocks trading warrants and options when they were introduced circa 1971. That's amazing. You have a lot of experience in this stuff. Had another try in trading a few years ago, but lost money consistently. Yeah, that makes sense, Wash. I think using algorithms and being able to back test things will be very, very helpful for you in doing this sort of thing, instead of just kind of looking at things that way. But using data science actually is extremely helpful in doing this sort of thing. Cool. And Lamar says, thanks. No problem, Lamar. All right. So let me tell you a little bit about myself. So this is a little bit about my background. So I've been programming computers for a little over 25 years now. Like yourself, I got started, like yourself, Law. I got started programming at a very young age. I started investing a little later in life, but programming I started when I think I was like 12 years old. So it's about grade 4, grade 5, something like that. And yeah, so basically been programming for 25 years, right? I've had a chance to go through almost every programming language, Python, ThinkScript. I've done all this different kind of stuff. That's why I can really tell you the advantages and disadvantages, because I've tried it all basically at this point. I also have a master's of finance degree. So I went to a business school in Canada. It was quite a bit cheaper than going to an Ivy League, but essentially the same education as like an Ivy League type school, and got my master's of finance there. It's a school called Schulich. Heck of a lot cheaper than Carnegie Mellon, which also I got accepted to, and saw the bill and I was like, this is crazy. But definitely got a very good education there in my master's program. I also worked for 10 years at financial technology companies, especially on Wall Street. So I lived in New York for a number of years, and really got to cut my teeth there in all these different types of positions. More specifically, I worked at a couple different companies. So one company was a company called Greystone, where we made an app for real estate lending that's processed over $50 billion in mortgages to date. Actually think that's quite a bit more than that now. So, it was my job to basically put together the whole software team that did that. I hired a bunch of people. We built this thing out, and it's processed quite a bit of money to date. I also helped create a company called Voyager. You guys might have heard of it. Basically, we started Voyager. I was employee number 4 there. And when I started, we were basically just in a WeWork kind of trying to figure out how to do this. Is basically everything from scratch. We built this thing up. It was basically an app that trades cryptocurrencies. We created this app, and it ended up blowing up, became huge, was worth $3 billion at one point in time, which is amazing. Made my stock options become a heck of a lot more valuable. And then afterwards crashed when the whole FTX thing happened. But luckily, I was able to sell my options and did pretty well off that business as well. After maybe because after I left, things didn't really go too well for them, but definitely was really fun building out a company from 0 to $3 billion. That was really fun to do. Also, I'm managing a couple $1 million in investments. I manage money for myself and for my family members and friends. Basically have that experience. We've done very well with these investments. I'll tell you my story in a bit later, but our investments have done quite well over the years. But the truth is that, I wasn't always like this, right? So years ago in 2008, I basically blew up my entire investment portfolio. I didn't know what the heck I was doing in 2008. Made some pretty silly decisions. I'll tell you about that. I really just didn't know how to manage my risk well. That's what it was, right? Is I had really bad risk management abilities. So after that, I really learned how to take care of my risk a lot better, and did a heck of a lot better after I figured out some of these tricks today that I'm going to show you. And really, I was relying on others for investment advice. Instead of checking the stuff myself, I was just listening to other people, and they're saying, do this, do that. I was just really just listening to that. But I eventually learned how to do this myself and became a heck of a lot more successful after that. Right. So, do you want to hear about the 3 secrets? Do you want me to tell you what the 3 secrets are and the ways that we've been able to significantly improve our improvements or significantly improve our investments? Let me know if you guys are interested in that. Okay, cool. We got a couple of yeses here. We got a couple of yeses. Yes, please. Awesome. Very cool. Thanks, guys. All right, cool. So let's start it off. Okay, so what is secret number 1? Secret number 1 is back testing, right? A lot of people, when they get into investing, they don't really do this kind of thing. They don't really check how this is going to perform. It's crazy. It's honestly, you go on YouTube, there's so much nonsense on there. Trade here and buy in this thing, and you're going to be a billionaire for sure. Like basically like every YouTube video out there on this. It's kind of ridiculous, right? And honestly, if you follow that type of advice, sometimes maybe it's good advice. A lot of times it's not good advice. But one way that you can really figure out, is this make a lot of sense or not, is by using back testing. All right. So let me tell you a story, and let me tell you about why this is such an important thing to do. Right. So here's my story, and basically what back testing is and why it matters so much. Right. So picture this. It was 2008. And basically, I just lost my life savings, right? It was about 30 grand at the time. That to me used to be a lot of money. And I basically blew it up, right? Like I just, I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I, leveraged too hard. I did things with margin that I shouldn't have, and just, was not very good at what I was doing back then, right? And just my account blew up. And I actually think is a good thing now, because at least I learned how to do this stuff at a younger age, before my portfolio grew to be a lot bigger, right? So, I felt terrible basically after that happened. Who wouldn't? I lost my life savings. That sucked, right? And it took me years to save that up, but it really did give me the fire that I needed to learn about this stuff and get very, very good at investing and trading. So I applied to my Master's of Finance program at Schulich, and I was really determined to learn. And what I learned there just totally blew my mind. It was crazy. It's very different from what I was used to learning, right? What I was used to with finance, right? I kind of learned a little bit of stuff in undergrad, but in grad school, they really had a very different kind of approach. Everything was very calculated. We used a lot of math. We used historical data. We used a lot of risk management to do this kind of stuff. And really, we're doing quite advanced stuff inside of the Masters of Finance program, right? And I learned a lot in that class. I had some amazing professors. They really taught me some stuff. I felt like I was being taught by like the Yoda of investing, kind of going through that sort of thing. But really, not only did I felt like I learned a lot from my professors, but I also spent hours, and I mean literally hours every night, like up until the late hours of night, just basically figuring out. And this is outside of school work, right? Because in school, we kind of had to do our own thing and like learn valuation and whatever risk management, that kind of stuff. But outside of work, outside of school, what I was doing is I was making these big Excel spreadsheets and little computer programs to basically analyze stocks and figure out, how can I build the perfect portfolio? How can I make the perfect type of investment, right? I can't tell you how many hours. Yeah, it was definitely in the dozens, if not over 100 hours going through this stuff and just saying, well, okay, if I put in 5 grand here and I bought these stocks and then I took on a certain amount of leverage, what would have happened? And what if I had diversified between these two? And what if I had, you could basically go through an Excel spreadsheet and you could go, okay, in January, I started with this much money. I would have ended with this much money. In February, I would have had this much. In March, I would have had this much. You can like track it and see how much your account would have been worth going through that, right? Because if you bought something at $10 and now it's worth 40, right? Your account's 4 times bigger. So I was basically playing with that a lot and figured out quite a bit. It was honestly, after going through that, it was like blindingly obvious that what I did in 2008 was very stupid, right? Like when I back tested, I went, that's kind of like what a back test is, right? It's just going through this Excel spreadsheet type thing and saying, well, if I put in $10,000 and then, in January, how much money would I have in February? How much would I have in March? How much would I have next year? How much, So it's basically playing around with that a lot. This is kind of like the early stages of back testing. And really, really discovered, okay, this is how you should be using leverage. These are types of things you should be investing in, all that sort of stuff, right? And it made it so, so obvious to me, right? And basically, after I went through that stuff, I came up with a strategy and said, okay, this works. I back tested it. This actually works well. So let me actually follow that. So what I did is I applied everything that I learned, right, in those back tests and actually started doing that, right? And holy crap, we made a lot of money, right? So first of all, you know, it's been years now. I've been investing my mom's money, for example, right? And the reason why is actually kind of a bad time in my life at the time. My father passed away, and basically, I was put in charge of our family's investments accounts, right? Started off with, something like 200 grand, I think, was given to me. It was like their life savings, right? My father passed away. He used to always manage that stuff. My mom didn't know what the heck she was doing. And, I have a master's in finance and, I know how to do this stuff. So I was the one that led that charge. Um, Fast forward a couple years, right? This is, was since 2010 or something like that. My mom is now a multimillionaire, like several times over a millionaire. Just bought herself a brand new house in a very, very nice area. Still owns a bunch of condos. She travels all the time. Like she goes to Poland literally every year for like 4 months at a time. Just hangs out there. She's buying a new house in Poland. She just loves doing this kind of stuff. She wants to just get something for her sister and her to hang out. Um, what else can I say? Yeah, she was telling me the other day, she's like, she wanted to go to Mexico, but she didn't have anyone, like she wanted to go with someone. So she was just gonna buy tickets for her and her friend to go to Mexico to like and full access of like all-inclusive resorts and all that. Like basically she doesn't care about money anymore. Right? Like just no need to do that. She's a multi-millionaire, like again, millionaire several times over after we were investing all that stuff. So helped her out. She did really well. Also grew my wife's portfolio quite a bit. When I was looking back on it, it was I think I made her more money in a year than she had made in her entire life investing, right? So it's like it's crazy. Very, very big difference happened there. And myself personally, I have a good investment portfolio. It's done very well. And also, I own a company that's now worth, last time when we were going to raise money, around $4 million. So we're all doing quite well. We have also a lot of clients as well. I've done quite well at this point too. Um, but really, I attribute all this success back to this back testing, right? The fact that I was in grad school, I went through and figured out, okay, if I put in $5,000 here, and if I had done this and done that, I figured out back in 2009, 2010, right? I back tested it by 20 years, right? I understood basically what would happen. I just took all the stuff that I learned and just applied into the future, and that's it. And that's what really made all of this great stuff happen, right? Which is why I'm super excited about back testing, why I care so much about doing these types of things, because we can do even better than that, right? This was me using a big Excel spreadsheet. We have way more fancy stuff that we can do now. We're using Python. We're able to do much more complex things and have much better types of strategies now as well. So not only did we do very well over the past, decade or so, but I can imagine the next decade or two is going to be a heck of a lot bigger than that, right? So that's secret number one, is back testing. Make sure that you always back test your stuff, and don't just take other people's word for it, because it can really make a big difference. Right? Okay, cool. All right, so let's talk about secret number two. Okay, that's secret number one, back testing. I'd strongly recommend that all of you guys, if you're not doing back testing yet, make sure that you're back testing all of your investing, all of your trading, because it will give you a very strong indication on how things will happen in the future. Okay. Secret number two is use existing code and collaborate with other people, right? You do not need to do this stuff on your own, right? Instead of trying to build everything from scratch, use existing code and work with others. We have a lot of things we can provide for that as well, right? So let me tell you a story there too, okay? So let me tell you about Worth and a strategy that he has. He has this strategy trading UVXY. Worth is one of our students, one of our yeah, basically students, right? He's been part of our community for some time now. I think he joined something like 5 months ago, right? And basically he has a few strategies that he trades manually, right? So he trades a couple of these strategies, and he's been doing good. Like one of his strategies, for example, is trading this asset called UVXY. And basically it's like a shorting the VIX, and it's a really good way to make money. If you actually look at the graph, it basically goes straight down. If you short it, you actually make quite a bit of cash, but there's a lot of details around this. Like every once in a while your account can like blow up, so you gotta like figure out how to deal with that, right? And he does like this thing where he trades using Bollinger Bands, right? So there's a lot of details to it, right? But in general, he's basically shorting this symbol here, right? So basically, he brought that up during class one time, right? So he's part of our Tuesday classes. We run them live every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And he basically said, here's my strategy. Here's kind of what I do. Do you guys want to build it? That's basically what we do every Tuesday, right? You join in. It's a live class. You can bring your own stuff too if you have an algorithm that you want to have built, or you can just watch other people's get built. Or basically you'll come in and you'll say, here's my strategy, or you'll see someone else say, here's my strategy. You'll show it off, and and other people get a chance to do that too. And then we'll take a vote, right? We'll say, okay, whose strategy are we going to work on today, right? And in this case, we picked his strategy, this UVXY shorting strategy, and we started doing all this stuff, right? So basically, we back tested it. We are able to check, okay, how does this work? And we got some really good results. I'll show you the results in a second, but it was something like, I think it was 70 or 80% a year that we were able to get through the backtest results, which is quite high, right? It's a very nice return. If you actually do the math, if you make 80% a year for the next 10 years of your life, you will never have to worry about money again. Just do the math. It's crazy. But yeah, so basically we got some good backtesting results, and we built out this algorithm for him during the class. Basically, I'm the one that wrote that code, and we built it out. Yeah. So Worth basically started trading this spot. And so far, he's been getting really, really good results, right? He keeps talking to me. He's like, I made this much money. He's like showing me like, this thing's actually doing quite well for him, right? And, and it makes sense. Basically, we took his strategy that he had, we analyzed it and said, is this a good idea or not? We back tested it. Then we were also able to perfect it, right? So we were able to change some things like, okay, well, he was trading with this Bollinger Band. What if we modified that And what if we did this? And we can actually like really make the strategy better when we're doing the back testing. We're able to perfect it, right? And then once we had those back testing results, I gave the code to Worth, and he's been running it himself, right? Okay, so he's been making some good money so far, and it makes sense, right? Because we back tested it. He's been running it for some time. Like it makes sense that he's making money doing this, right? So basically what we did is we're now getting more people in the group to run this bot and many others, right? We're showing this to a bunch of other people, and other people can basically benefit from the strategies. It's teamwork, it's like it's how they say in Fast and the Furious, it's like family, basically. But that's really what it is. It's all teamwork. People come up with different strategies, right? And Worth has this one strategy, and now everyone can use that, right? And then other people have other strategies, and Worth can use those, right? And we could all benefit from each other in this sort of way where we're all helping each other out, and this is all becoming algorithms that everyone can run and replicate, right? And we have a lot of strategies from everyone in the group that we've tested over the past few months. We've been doing a lot of really, really cool stuff. I'll show you a couple of the algorithms that we went through, but every week we're literally making a new algorithm, and it's crazy. We have so many things that we have out now that I'm just trying to figure out basically how can we run 20 algorithms at a time is what I'm trying to figure out, because there's a lot of really interesting ones, right? But there's, these are all things that are available to you. If you join our program, you're able to access all this code and actually run these strategies yourself, right? So basically, all the strategies that we have in this class they're the best of all the strategies that we have, right? So you can join in, you can get this code, and you can actually use this stuff. It's fantastic, right? Okay, great. So let me show you a couple things. And actually, if you guys don't mind, just give me 1 second. I'm in this apartment right now, and it is boiling hot. If you give me just 1 second, I'm just going to turn on the AC. I'll be right back. All right. Thanks, guys. Cool. Okay. So do you guys want to see some of these strategies that we have? I'm going to show you a couple of examples. Right? Do you guys want to see this? Awesome. Okay. So let me show you the first one. Right. So here's the strategy. Here's a strategy that Worth put together. Right. So the strategy we put together for Worth. Right. So here's that strategy where we're back testing UVXY. Okay. And that strategy and how the account value is in blue, right? So you can see the account value basically growing here. You see that it started off at 0 in 2021 January and basically shot all the way up to 700, actually specifically 708% in 2023. This is September, October is when I ran it, right? So what is that? That's 1, 2, and 2.5 years, almost 3 years, let's say, 700% in 3 years. That's ridiculous. That's crazy, right? And you can see that here. You can see this monster graph in blue is basically the strategy and how the account value changed over time. And you can see here in yellow is basically the benchmark, or in other words, the S&P 500, what it did over time. So when we ran this back test, we could say, okay, this is simulated trading. If we had done this back in the day, if we had started doing this from January 2021 and held it up until now, or until about a month ago, this is what would have happened to our account value. And it's quite impressive, right? You can see the backtest results are here. It's really, really amazing what this thing can accomplish. So essentially, it's 700% in 3 years is what it would have done, which works out to being about 72% per year, right? 72% turns into 700% after 3 years. It's remarkable. It does come with a little bit more risk. You can see that here. The max drawdown is a little higher, so it's a period where it dropped quite a bit around here. So not only are we understanding that this thing can make a lot of money, but we're also understanding what risks are involved in it, and there's ways that we can deal with that, right? So is this something that you can stomach or something that you can't? And if you can't, then you can actually diversify this with other strategies. There's a whole bunch of ways that you can reduce the risk too. But basically, you're getting a very good understanding of what might have or what would have happened if you had been investing in this. And importantly, it's kind of saying, what might happen in the future if you were to keep doing this, right? We can't guarantee, I can't say for sure this is exactly what's going to happen in the future, but if it did happen in the past, I think there's a very good chance it'll happen in the future. I can tell you, myself personally, a lot of times I've back tested things, I've ran them, it's helped me a heck of a lot in the future. And that's, basically why I can stand here today and say, we've made a ton of money, not just for myself, but with everyone that I've been working with over the years. So those are back testing results, some really killer algorithm here to use. But we have a bunch of other ones, right? We have a bunch of other algorithms that we play around with. And a lot of these we've built in our Tuesday class, our live Tuesday class. So Ash says, what does the strategy do? Sure. So what the strategy does in particular, the UVXY trading strategy, is shorts the UVXY, like the symbol UVXY, which is an ultra VIX. And so this is basically here, it's ultra short-term futures for VIX. Basically, when you look at it, it looks like this. It goes straight down, right? So it is a very good thing to short, right? Because things that go down, when you're shorting them, you make money, right? So this thing is shorting this symbol here and making quite a bit of money off of it initially. But then it's also using Bollinger Bands to improve on that, right? So it's only getting involved in certain situations and will exit in other situations. So it's doing basically like a risk mitigation technique on top of just shorting it, right? Right, so that's basically what it is there. So let me know if that makes sense, if you want me to go any deeper into that. Okay, but we do have a bunch of other strategies too, right? So here's another strategy. This is one that I actually want to get up and running sometime soon. We're basically getting a new broker set up so we can actually run options trades in the cloud. So in about 2 weeks, I'm going to be actually running this live money personally. But here's basically a strategy that so sorry, there's a question here. So Ash says, why did this strategy was chosen? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Ash. It's a strategy that we made. It's basically Worth was trading this himself. He came up with this idea and we built it for him, is essentially what happened, right? We build a lot of strategies. We've built literally like over 100 strategies at this point in time, right? So we have quite a few of them, and that's one of them, right? And we built that because Worth basically asked. And then Gil asks, Tradier. Tradier is a brokerage, if you're interested. This is what we're going to be doing. Ash says, can we get audio, please? I'm not sure what you mean. Can you guys hear me? Is anyone having trouble hearing me, by the way? Let me know if you guys can hear me. You guys are responding to things, can hear. Okay, cool. Perfect. So I'm not sure. Ash, everyone can hear. I think there's issue on your end. Yes, I can hear you, but not reply in voice. We are typing. Oh, so you're saying you want to turn on your microphone, Ash? Is that what you're asking? If you'd like, you can turn on your microphone. You can ask. Sure, sure. Feel free to turn on your mic.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. So the reason I have seen a lot of black boxes and I have seen people run the strategies. So when we first pick up a strategy, why did we pick up this strategy? Why did it kick in?
So this is a strategy that trades the UVXY. It's something that we made because Worth asked us to build it. So one of our students was trading this and he wanted to automate it. That's what it is.
Okay, but I'm sure that if you have built 100 bots, this is not the best one you picked out. You're just sampling it.
So
Right.
if you're asking me what bots I would personally invest in and how I would do that, I would not invest in any single strategy. And we're actually putting together a prospectus right now for our hedge fund. And what it actually is going to be a multi-strategy where we want to invest in 20, 30, or 100 algorithms at a time. I don't think it makes sense to invest in a single algorithm and think that it's the holy grail. There's no such thing.
During equities, like stock day trading, I have seen people invest in multiple at a time, because I trade with trading firm and I have access to a lot of capital. So I can put a lot of, if the model is working, capital is not an issue.
Okay.
But why this
That's really good to know.
strategy?
So this strategy, the reason why I would, so first of all, again, I would trade multiple strategies, right? We're building a hedge fund. I plan on trading 40 strategies at a time, right? Yeah, I would not choose any single strategy, right? But this strategy in particular is very interesting because it has a very high average return per year, right? 72% is what we backtested it to be, very high. And the max drawdown isn't anything too significant. And it's something that doesn't have a very high correlation with the market, right? This one tends to do very well when the market's going down. So the correlation to the rest of the portfolio would be quite low, right? So that's why I think this is a very good thing to add to a portfolio, personally. Or
Okay, I don't want to take everybody's time, so please continue with it. I'm listening.
Sure. Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ash. And if we can continue to talk about this as well. If you want to reach out to me, feel free to email me, or we can also hop on a call. We can discuss.
Sure.
We have a
Call
lot
would
of
be
different
better.
strategies like this. Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Thanks,
Okay.
Ash.
Thanks.
Okay, so Tradier, so Gil's asking, Tradier 2 weeks till you're working with them. Yes, yeah, I think in about 2 weeks we'll be able to work with them. This is a broker that we're going to be adding to our list of brokers that we work with. And I think it's a fantastic broker for trading options. The reason why I like them so much is A, they have a really good API. So it's really easy to work with them and build a bot for them, right? But on top of that, they also have, if I could see where the pricing is, let me see where I can find pricing, right? They have a really interesting plan here that's $10 per month, and you get commission-free options trades, right? So if you have any kind of strategy that's trading a lot of options, this can save you a heck of a lot of money, right? So there's another one that we're doing that basically is like a martingale type strategy. It basically puts on iron condor every single day. So it's like 4 option trades every single day, right? So it gets really, really expensive really fast. But if you have $10 a month, that becomes free. It's crazy. You can save a ton of money doing this stuff. So really good broker. I'm very excited to actually get started with these guys personally. So that's kind of story behind Tradier. Right. Okay, cool. So let me see here. Ash, everyone can hear. I think there's an issue on your end. Okay. Thumbs up, and then says yes, sir. Okay, great, awesome. Okay, so here's one strategy. Basically trading the UVXY. Here's another strategy that we came up with during our class. So basically, we're going through and we had the idea of, banks have this product where basically, I don't know if you guys have heard of this. You can buy a GIC that's linked to the market, right? Where you'll buy this thing, and if the stock market does really well, you make a bunch of money. If the stock market doesn't do well, then you essentially get like a basic rate, right? So you get like 3%, let's say something like that. You get 3% a year. But if the stock market does really well, you can get up to 15% or something like that. As like it usually has a cap on it, right? So I thought that was really interesting. And we kind of talked about it in class one time, and we're like, well, we can do that, right? Like we can build that, right? So we basically built that type of algorithm, but we're able to modify it, right? So here's kind of like that type of algorithm for basic stock investing. So essentially what we're doing is we're copying what they made, and we put basically 4% of our money into call options. And if you guys aren't familiar with what call options are, they're essentially options that bet on the stock market going up, right? So we put 4% of our money at the money call options, and we put the other 96% into a very, very safe ETF that basically just pays out kind of like a savings account, right? Pays out just 5%. It's a variable interest rate. If interest rates come down, it'll pay less. If they go up, it'll pay more. But the price of it doesn't change at all, right? I think it's called, I forget what the ticker is exactly, but essentially we're doing that, right? So 96% of our money in this super safe thing that basically pays just interest and is very stable. And then the other 4% is in this holy crap kind of options type thing, buying at the money calls on QQQ, right? And what we got was a very interesting strategy where essentially we got a good return here, right? But it was more interesting is that you could actually customize it, right? So when we put in 4% and we back tested it with that from this is from January 1st, 2020 up until again about October or something, right? So over was that 4 years, we got 90% return, so almost doubled our money 4 years. So pretty good, right? Essentially it's kind of the same return as the stock market. If you do the math here, the yellow line is the stock market, the blue line is ours. You can see that basically we have almost the exact same returns as the S&P 500, as the stock market. But a key difference is that we have quite a bit lower risk, right? When you look at the graph, first of all, you can see that it's pretty much more stable, right? It doesn't have these big swings up or big swings down. It's much more stable. You can tell just from the graph. But when you look at the numbers, you can actually see that our max drawdown is quite a bit lower. That means our biggest drop ever, that might have been this year during COVID, right? Our biggest drop ever was only 25%, whereas the S&P 500 had a 35% drop, which is probably this one here, this big 35% max drawdown, right? We also have a lower volatility. So meaning basically we're able to get similar returns to the stock market, but take less risk, which is great, right? Like a lot of people want that. Like, for example, if we're talking about someone like, my mother, right? She's retired, right? We don't want to put her into things that are like crazy risky, right? That's not a good idea, right? We don't want something that if it blows up, it takes out half of her money, right? Like she relies on this cash. I wouldn't want to put her into something like that, right? But this works well for someone like her because it's safer, right? You're able to still get very good returns, but you're not risking as much, right? But what is very interesting about this algorithm is that you can customize it. And that's pretty much all of our algorithms as well. You can customize them very easily, right? So here is, instead of 4%, here is 6%, okay? If we just put 6% of our money to call options instead of 4, so 6% now into call options, 94% into just that safe asset, we went from getting 13% a year to 17 or 18% a year. So in other words, we're making about 134% over a 4-year period is what happened. That's great. We basically doubled what the stock market did, right? That's a very nice outcome. And we basically doubled what the stock market did. And what's interesting here again is that the risk is lower, right? We are, or at least the same, right? So we have about the same max drawdown as the stock market, about the same type of risk profile. We have about the same volatility, very close, but we're able to get a much higher return, right? So for the same risk, we're now able to get double the return of the stock market. That's pretty damn good, right? I think it's very interesting. So that's 6%. But then you could also even modify it. And again, if you guys get access to this, you want our access to our code, we're making this so that's like a one-click deploy type thing, right? You'll be able to deploy this to Trader. You could run it directly on their platform, right? One button deploys it. You can customize it. Do you want 4%? Do you want 6%? You could automatically do that very easily, right? Here is 8%, right? Let's say you're a person that really likes taking risk. This one's dangerous, right? I definitely would caution against doing something like this unless you're doing it in such a way that you know how to handle your risk. But the results were quite extraordinary, right? So when we upped it from 4%, which is safe, 6% was about the same risk as the stock market. Now 8% is like a much bigger risk, right? When we're looking at our max drawdown, we had a 60% loss at one point in time. That's scary, right? But the returns were astronomical, right? This thing over 4 years would have made you 5 times your money, right? So 400% return, meaning you start off with 10,000, you'd have 50,000, right? You start with 100,000, you would have had 500,000, right? Almost a 5x return over this time period. It's incredible, huge, huge returns, right? Or in other words, about 38% a year is what this thing's making. So it is risky, right? But if you're the type of person that's interested in that, you can run this algorithm and actually have this thing working for you. And again, we're making this super simple, one click, you get this thing up and running. We don't have that working yet. Right now, we could still show you how to do it really simple. But again, in the next little bit, we're going to make it so easy. It's literally one click. You can actually run this thing, right? Okay, cool. So that's 2 different algorithms, right? So here's, I showed you the UVXY trading one. I showed you this other one that's basically mimicking what banks are doing, but in ways that are are a little bit more on the return side of things, you know. Now let me show you another one. Here's a very interesting algorithm. And a lot of people really like seeing this one. It's kind of funny, but basically what it does is it copies members of Congress, right? So let's say you're Nancy Pelosi, right? What this algorithm will do, it will find out basically what you're doing, right? And copy your trades, right? So it copies members of Congress. So more specifically, what it will do is it will look at all the members of the House and look at all the stocks that they bought, right? You can actually even do that if you go Congress buys, right? You can find this data, right? You can go to something like capitaltrades.com and you can go in here and you can see, what is everyone buying, right? So Susan from, a Democrat from Washington, bought this thing here, right? We're really just looking at stocks. So they buy other things too. iShares CMBS ETF. There's a few other ones down here. If we keep going down, we'll see, okay, Evolution AB, right? Dynatrace, Uber, Ulta Beauty, Microsoft, right? We're seeing all these different purchases by members of Congress, okay? And what our bot does is essentially looks at all of these trades and counts them, right? How many times did a member of Congress buy Uber? How many times did they buy Microsoft? How many times did they buy whatever, right? And we keep a tally of that. And whenever we see that stock gets more than 4 purchases by members of Congress, so in the past 45 days, we've back tested this to basically, come up with those numbers. Why 45 days? Because we were able to test it and try different amounts of days. And our back test results show that 45 days was the optimal period, right? So we basically went, okay, in the past 45 days, how many times was Microsoft bought? How many times was Uber bought? How many times was, by members of Congress? And let's say it came back that Microsoft was bought by 4 members of Congress, bought 4 times, then we will buy that and hold it for 45 days. Okay. So essentially, that's what this thing is doing constantly, right? And when we back tested this, we got some really nice results too. Okay. So here in blue again is our strategy and what happened to the account value over time. You can see here that it's swamped the S&P 500 again. This is in yellow. The S&P 500 just completely dominates it, right? And what's interesting is that dominates it by a very large amount, right? The S&P only did around 10% over that time period. This thing almost doubled over that same time period. So when the S&P was in a bear market, losing tons of money, this thing was still going up. Look at this. The stock market was going down. This thing was going up in the opposite direction, right? Clearly, members of Congress know something that we don't, right? If you think about it, it makes a lot of sense, right? They are like the ultimate insiders, right? Not only are they insiders inside of companies and they know things that we don't know, but they also pass the laws, right? So if they own Microsoft, you better believe that they're going to be passing laws that help Microsoft. It is a conflict of interest, to be quite honest with you, right? But it's one that we can take advantage of, right? So that's essentially what we got here, right? We got about double our money over this time period, whereas the S&P only did 10%. And what again is even more impressive is that this had even a lower max drawdown. We had less of a crash. We had less risk taking this on as well, right? So very, very nice returns for a much lower risk or a lower risk in general, which is amazing, right? So very cool algorithm. Again, if you guys join our program, you get access to this. You can actually get this code and run this. If you guys join our program today, you can actually go tonight, take this code and run this thing and have it working for you tomorrow if you want to do that. So that's what's available here. You guys can actually get the code to this and run this, right? Would you guys be interested in that? Who would want to run this strategy? Who would want to run this in their investment portfolio? Right. Well, if you guys are interested, right, you're able to, by the end of this, I'll show you how you can actually do that. You can sign up for our program, get this code, you can actually get this up and running by tonight. Okay, here's another one. So here's another really interesting strategy. So this is the options straddle strategy. So for those of you that trade options, you'll know what a straddle is. It's essentially, in this case, selling both a call and a put at the same time, right? So essentially, it will go and at the beginning of the month, sell a call and a put, hold that basically until it expires at the end of the month, and then buy another one and just keep doing that. Just keeps selling options, selling a put, selling a call, selling a put, selling a call. It's just constantly doing that, right? And when we backtest this thing, we got some very nice results as well, right? So this one from January 1st, 2020 did extremely well, right? It was able to make 245% over that time period, where the S&P 500 only did 35% over that same time period, or in other words, 25% a year versus 5.5% a year for the S&P. And it did come with higher risk, right? The max drawdown was higher, so I'm not going to come here and say you're going to be making 250% and there's no risk involved. There definitely was some risk, but I'd say for a higher max drawdown, where this is probably it right here, right? 51% loss happened at one point in time, but it did pop right back very quickly. It dropped and it came right back again. So, take that with, however you want to take that. The volatility is definitely a little higher, but you're making, or did make, 245% over this time period. It's quite incredible. So it's a lot of money to be making, right? So again, there's an option strategy, this option straddle strategy. And if you guys want, you can actually join our program, get this code and run it tomorrow if you're interested. DV says, how much do we need to start, like the minimum? So in terms of minimum investment, it really depends on the strategy, right? Every strategy is a little bit different. A lot of option strategies will require a bit of a higher amount. I think with this one, you'd probably want to start with like at least $1,000, I would think, right? We can go and do the math. We can actually check that for real if you wanted to. But option strategies tend to be a little bit higher. The Congress one, you could trade with very little money. I think you probably get started with like $100. You really don't need a lot of capital for this. For the most part, it's pretty low, right? All this stuff is automated. A lot of it can be scaled up and down based on an account, right? But it depends on the strategy. The stock ones are going to be easier. You can buy fractional shares in stocks now. But the like the options ones, they tend to need a little bit more money usually, right? So it depends on what you're doing, right? But I don't think I haven't really seen any strategies that would need more than like $1,000, $2,000 to get started, right? To kind of give you an idea there, right? But okay, so that's all the strategies I wanted to show you, but there's a heck of a lot more of them, right? I don't want you to think that this is all of our strategies. We have tons of them. So for example, here's one that we were working on. We were doing this one in our options class. This is our martingale based strategy. So we're building this one out. This one had a really nice return. Basically, it's using iron condors and rolling them over, and basically just rolling an iron condor every day, right? Doing that sort of thing. And if you lose, you double down. If you win, you keep going. And essentially, we get like this really, really nice looking curve that really doesn't have a lot of deviations in it. Every once in a while, there's a scary point. We're kind of trying to figure out how to fix that still. We're still trying to perfect this one. But this is a 6-month period, and it did 98% in 6 months. Holy crap, right? This is definitely one, once we have our Tradier connection set up, this is the first strategy that I want to run. We're talking about like 200% a year kind of thing here. It's insane, right? So it does come with risks. I'm not going to, again, disclaimer and all that. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't want to tell you to do anything that, do your own research, but this is a strategy that I'm personally very interested in, and I'm going to be running this one, at least with paper money at first, and probably putting some money behind this as well, because it is quite an interesting strategy. Make 100% in 6 months. It's nuts, right? And again, I've been testing a bunch of stuff with this. We've kind of been going back and forth. There's, we're constantly coming up with new strategies. This is another one that we're working on with Worth. He basically has this one where you follow something called ICTs. We've been working on this strategy. It's not quite there yet, but we're working on that too. But yeah, I mean, either way, what I'm trying to show you here is that we have a lot of different strategies. We're constantly innovating. If you join our Tuesday class, we can build one of your strategies if you're interested, and you can actually get access to all of these things. Use this code, run it however you want, customize it. It's all available to you. All right. Okay, cool. So there's some questions here. So Ash asks, do you have any strategy for day trading? Going to stock section criteria, entry, exit, let me know, please. Yeah, we have a bunch of strategies like that. I personally find those strategies less interesting. If you go on YouTube, that's what a lot of people talk about is, like trading based off of EMA and, support resistance and that sort of thing. I mean, we have strategies like that, right? I find them to be the least impressive, right? If you actually go and follow those types of things, I mean, I'm not seeing anyone that's making a killing doing that. You know what I mean? There's, I think, much easier ways to make money than doing that, right? But yes, we do have a bunch of those strategies. I don't have any of them to show you right now. They make money. I don't think they're that impressive personally, right? I've seen a couple of them that are pretty good, right? I think there's this one ICT strategy that we made for stock breakouts that was pretty cool that did something like that. But yeah, I mean, I find that there's a lot easier ways to make money than doing that sort of thing. But we do have a couple like that. If you're interested, we can get on a call. I can show you a couple of them. We do have a bunch of day trading strategies that do actually trade off of things like support resistance and like EMAs and that kind of thing. But again, I find that there's easier ways to make money than doing that personally, right? Okay, cool. So that's a couple of our strategies. Again, we have tons of them. If you guys join us, you will get access to all of this code and you'll be able to run any one of these strategies. Imagine you could literally take one of these strategies, take the code, run it, and you can have it up and running by tomorrow. That's essentially what we have here. And you can customize it. You can change it. For example, this one here, you can change it so that it's, 10% instead of 8% if you're that brave and you want to do that sort of thing. And you can back test it and see how it would have done and actually get some pretty good insights behind that, right? You can take this straddle strategy that I was showing you, right? This one here, you can take this straddle strategy and you can change it. Okay, well, we're buying at the money. Maybe we don't buy at the money. Maybe we buy further out. This Congress strategy, we trade 45 days. You can modify that to 50. You can modify, and these things are very easy to modify. That you literally change. Let me see if I can show you. Right? Like here's one bot, right? You just change these numbers up here, right? That's it. You change these numbers, you run them, right? You see what your back test result is, and then you can actually run it live and try it out with fake money first if that makes you comfortable, and then put real money in if you're thinking that this is something that's right for you, right? So a lot of stuff here available for you. So Osama says, can we use this strategy for crypto? Yeah, we have a bunch of crypto strategies. A lot of the crypto strategies that we have are kind of that day trading flavor that you're asking about. We do have a bunch of stuff like that we trade crypto with. I don't have any of them loaded here, but I think we have something like 10 or 15 crypto strategies. So if you're interested, we do have a bunch of crypto strategies as well. And actually, let me show you one of them. This is our trading signals. So if you join us, you actually also get access to our trading signals. So you can watch our strategies as they perform. Here is one of our double EMA strategy. Lately, it dropped a bit over a day, but it's still up quite a bit. This thing, since we started it November 30th, so 2 weeks ago, we started this thing, it's made 10% almost in 2 weeks. That's a pretty nice return, right? This is our double EMA trending strategy. Basically, what it does is we'll look at which cryptos are trending up and invest in them and space the money out proportionally. And basically, is what it's been doing, right? Honestly, it was just basically trending straight up for like the longest time. It's like it finally actually fell. It was crazy. It was up 15% in 2 weeks. Not even 2 weeks. What am I talking about? It was up 15% in 10 days. Now it's finally taken a bit of a hit. Not everything goes up forever. But here's one crypto strategy. There's also a crypto B-band strategy. You can take a look at this one. This one's actually doing really well right now. This one we started on October 30th. It's up 12% since then. And again, you join us, you can watch these things trade live. You get notifications every time that they trade, right? So you could see this one hasn't traded for a little while. So it's kind of been holding Bitcoin for a while. This one was placing some trades. I know it, yeah, so it's up a lot in 7 days. And then back here, it was placing these trades. It bought Bitcoin. Like you can actually watch it trade every day and you get notifications when it shows up, right? So you can actually get that as part of our plans as well. You could follow any one of our strategies, or actually not any of them. We have a bunch up here, but we're adding more over time, and you'll be able to follow our strategies. And what I eventually want to make, if you guys join and you want to be part of this whole thing, I want to basically put a button down here. You click that button, and it'll take you to a page where you can actually run it yourself. Right? Is what we were working towards getting to. Right? So yeah, so we have a lot of stuff. We have stuff for crypto. We have stuff for options. We have stuff for Forex. We have stuff for Stocks, obviously, we have, so, someone here mentioned futures. We have future strategies as well. So we've kind of done it all, right? So if you guys are interested, you guys get access to all that code. You can take it, run it. You can watch it trading live inside of our trading signals. You can get notifications as they pop up, and you can join our classes. You can, if you have a strategy in mind, we can build it for you. There's a lot of things that we can do here. It's really, really cool. So anyways, that's kind of what it all comes down to. Is secret number 2, use existing code and collaborate with others, because that's what we're doing here. That's the reason why we have all these strategies, is because we work together and everyone comes up with their own ideas and brings their own ideas to the table. And when we bring it all together, we end up coming up with a lot of these really cool ideas. And you do not need to be doing this stuff from scratch. You do not need to know how to code. You could just literally click the button and install it and set it up, right? You don't need to do any of that kind of stuff. So you can use existing code to run these things as well, right? You don't have to be a coder. All right, awesome, cool. Lamar says, how much is the course? I'm going to get to that. I'll get to that soon, Lamar. All right. Okay. That's thank you for asking. I'll let you know very soon. Right. Okay, cool. All right, so secret number 3, last secret, and then we're going to start talking about the actual full class if you'd like to join this. Okay. So secret number 3 is use AI tools. AI is incredible. The things I can do is mind-blowing. Honestly, these days, if you want to code your own algorithms from scratch, using AI is actually very possible. All right. And I'll show you, I'll tell you a story. Yeah. So here's a story about one of our students that joined a couple months ago. So I think she joined something like 10 months ago, maybe a year ago now, something like that. And it's her name is Latoya, right? She's actually been messaging on our channels. I need to get back to her because she was actually even messaging today, ask about some of the stuff that she's building in Algo. But Latoya joined us about 10 months ago, and she had 0 programming skills, like literally never coded a day in her life. She's a pharmacist by trade. That's what she does for a living, or used to do for a living. And I'll tell you why I say used to. She's a pharmacist, never coded before, right? And basically, when she joined our classes, we taught her how to use all these different AI tools. We taught her how to use ChatGPT. We taught her how to use GitHub Copilot, and we taught her how to do this stuff, how to use these tools properly, right? Because a lot of people use these things, and if you're not using them, you really should be, right? Let's start with that. If you haven't heard of ChatGPT, what rock do you live under? I really think you need to go and explore that because it's an incredibly powerful product. It's like the iPhone, I think, but a lot better in some ways, or a lot bigger. I think it's going to be a lot larger than what the iPhone even was. But we basically taught her how to use these things and how to use AI tools properly and how to build code from scratch, all that kind of stuff, right? So basically, after she went through her classes, she was able to build a really complex bot, and I was shocked, by the way. She basically built this bot that goes on Discord. I don't know if you guys, there's so many of these out there where like people have trading signals, right? They say like, buy this option at this point in time, and whatever. There's all these different signals out there. What she did was build a bot that would listen into their channels, and whenever someone said to buy something, she would have her bot actually execute that, right? So really cool. First of all, super complicated. When she showed me this thing, I was like, how the hell did you build this thing so quickly? She didn't know how to code, but she built this thing out completely, within, I think it took her just a couple of weeks to build it. It was nuts. A very complicated bot. And basically what it did is it allowed her to, first of all, take these trading signals from Discord and actually automate it for her, right? Which is already valuable because then you don't have to trade and it can just do it for you, right? But on top of that, it also allowed her to get all this data and really figure out, which one of these Discord channels is BS and which one of them are true, right? Like, how are these guys actually doing, right? Are they actually making money or not? And should you be listening to this Discord channel or should you be listening to a different one, right? So she's able to figure that out as well, right? And basically her boss been trading for her automatically. And, she didn't have to be glued to her computer screen because, she was a pharmacist. She didn't want to, like, she's at work, right? So like do it while I'm at work, right? Yeah, she was able to figure out, which ones worked and which ones didn't. So she made this incredible bot. She's been using it. Last time I heard, she's been making some good money doing this. But that's not the only thing that she got from it. She built this bot. She's making some money. But on top of that, she was also able to even get a new job, right? So because she went through this and learned how to code, learn how to do all the data science that we teach in our classes. And if you want to go down the programming route, you can. You don't have to, right? But you can, and you can actually get very good at building these things yourself, right? She gained this new programming skill and got a new job. I think she had a pretty massive salary increase. I don't remember what it was, but it was quite a large increase in her salary, and it basically took her into kind of more of an office type position where she was doing a lot more stuff with data and around her field in pharmacy. So got her a new job, right? Amazing stuff. So not only did she get an incredible algorithm working for her, but she also got a new job that will make her more income to even be able to invest in that in the first place, right? So she definitely got a lot out of it. And again, I was super impressed by how quickly she was able to build this bot out. So let me give you a few tips, right? So let's talk about a few tips if you guys are using these AI tools, and what are some ways that you can use them to actually give you a nice leg up, right? So here's a few tips for you. So tip number one is start by using existing code, right? I have here, start by using existing code, right? That basically does something similar to what you want to do, right? So we have, I don't know, I think like 100 algorithms that you guys can choose from now. We have code for 100 different algorithms. So if you have an algorithm in mind, what you can do is go through our library and say, okay, this one is pretty similar to what I want to do. Take that code, okay, put it into ChatGPT, okay, and basically tell it to change it for you, right? So here's this code and this is what it's doing, right? Change this code for me, right? Make it do this, make it do that, right? And the reason why I say to do this is because a lot of people, when ChatGPT first came out, they go to me, they're like, oh yeah, I use ChatGPT. I try to make a bot and it's not working. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, ChatGPT is smart. It's not that smart, right? It can't, at least not in this point in time, sit there and you write out and say, oh, build an algorithm that does this and buys that support resistance and da, da, da. Like, if you actually try to do that, it will give you back a bunch of gibberish, right? It's not going to work. Connecting to a broker is going to be a huge pain, so if you're going to be building a bot, if you want to learn or if you want to build a bot from scratch, what I would do is start with existing code and then tell it to modify it from there. You're going to get much better results, right? Okay, number two, if you don't understand what the code does, let's say you got this algorithm and you're like, I don't know what the heck this code does. What you can do is copy paste it, give it to ChatGPT, and you could have it explain it to you, right? It will tell you first it does this, then it does this, then it does this. And you can even tell it to put in something called code comments, where it will comment the code as you go through it, right? So if it's just code, it's hard to read, but it puts in these code comments and it basically says, okay, this line of code does this. This checks if you have this and this and this, right? Second thing is it calculates this thing. Then so you can literally read the code like it's English, and it makes it a lot easier to understand what the heck is going on, right? So if you're taking an algorithm, you want to modify it, or any piece of code, you want to modify it, or you want to understand it better, give it a ChatGPT. It'll do a very good job and explain to you, and also making it in such a form that you can kind of read it as you walk through it. Right. Okay. So that's two things here for you guys if you want to get good at programming and specifically with bots too. Number three, install something called GitHub Copilot. Okay. We use VS Code whenever we do coding within our classes. And there's this extension, it's kind of like an app they can install for it called GitHub Copilot. And what it does is basically whenever you're writing code, it will give suggestions for you, right? So you can start writing some code, you can say, oh, if this and da-da-da, complete it for you automatically, which is, first of all, amazing, right? I honestly don't feel like I code anymore. Like this thing's like writing all the code for me, right? I'll start writing some code and it completes it for me. But what's even cooler is when you give it a comment, right? What I'll do is, and again, in programming, you have something called comments. So it's like, it makes it easier to read what's going on, right? You put a hashtag in front of it and it's like, this isn't code. It's like, it's just plain English, right? So you go hashtag and you tell it to do something, right? Make an if statement that does blah, 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 right? Like, or check if the EMA to 10 EMAs above the 20 EMA, right? Like you can literally write it out in English, and then what GitHub Copilot will do is write the code for you, right? So you can literally go through step by step and say, okay, first I want to do this, I want to calculate this, then I want to do this, I want to do this, right? And GitHub Copilot will really, really save you a lot of time. And you know, honestly, this is what Latoya used. She was using this, and she's able to go from not being able to code to being able to build out this incredibly complex thing using GitHub Copilot. It was it's such a powerful tool, you know. Number 4, if you get any errors, and I'm sure you will when you code, right? That's kind of the nature of it. What you should do is you should take that error and just copy and paste it and put it into ChatGPT. What it will do is it'll come back and it'll say, well, you need to change it to do, you know, X, Y, Z, or like you need to change this code, right? And if you don't understand what the heck it's saying, you can even give it the code and it'll actually modify that code for you, right? So it makes it a heck of a lot easier to do that. A lot of people, the reason why they find coding to be difficult is because they code something and then they get stuck. This gets you unstuck. Just send it to ChatGPT. It will tell you what's wrong with it, how to fix it, and it can actually even correct your code for you. It's incredible. It's like magic. Number 5 suggestion is check out our live recordings of our course. We have a lot of examples of using all these different AI tools. So if you go through our courses, you sign up to our stuff, you're going to get a lot of examples of this, and you can actually see how we're using all these things, right? Okay, cool. So that's my five tips for how to use AI with programming. Awesome. Okay, cool. So do you guys want to know what you get inside the All Access Plan? I've kind of been alluding to this the whole time. We have something called the All Access Plan where you're going to be able to get access to basically all of this stuff, right? You'll be able to get the code, you'll be able to get the trading signals, but do you want to know like what is in the entire plan? I could show you, you know, there's a lot. It's quite a substantial amount of things that you get when you join our All Access Plan. Okay, so here's what you're going to get, right? If you join our All Access Plan, you're going to get a bunch of courses here. We have 6 different courses that will teach you from A to Z how to do all this stuff. So Algo Trading will show you how to create your own trading algorithms from scratch. We have a course on AI for trading that will show you how to use AI and machine learning and how do you apply that. We have an options trading course that will show you how to build trading options or trading algorithms for options specifically. There's a lot of details to options trading, so we really get into the details of that. We have a crypto trading course. I know I forget who here is asking, but we do have an entire course just on how to build crypto trading algorithms, and it comes with lots of algorithms they can use right out of the box. And then we also have 2 courses on blockchain and Web3. If you guys are interested in that sort of thing, we'll show you how to make your own like things like your own coins and your own, you know, Web3 websites and all that kind of stuff, right? On top of that, you're also going to get access to our live algo hour, which is what I was talking about every Tuesday. Basically, we build a new algorithm. If you have an algorithm in mind that you want to build, you can come in and we can build it for you, or you can just watch other people's algorithms get built, right? So that's our live algo hour. You get a lot of one-on-one support. So if you need help, you can book either a call with me or a bunch of other people from our team, right? So so you get support with you know, anything that you're doing, whether it's you need help installing an algorithm or you want to modify one or whatever, you'll get a lot of support for that. You also get the trading signals, which is what I showed you here. You can actually watch our algorithms as they make money or not, right? So you guys can actually watch all these things, and you can get the trading signals for the ones that you like, right? You see an algorithm like, for example, this one, you know, is doing quite well, 15% in 10 days. I'd say it's pretty damn good, right? You can actually copy it, right? It shows you here, you know, exactly what it owns. It owns 33% of its money in Bitcoin, 33% of its money in Ethereum, 33% of its money in Litecoin. And then, you know, it will give you notifications when that changes, right? We're selling Bitcoin now, we're buying Litecoin now, you know, we're buying this, you know, you'll get all those notifications for all that. And for a bunch of our algorithms, we have 6 of them in here now. I plan to add on maybe another 5 or 6 over next little bit. So some of these ones I showed you, these option algorithms, I'm going to have the trading signals for that for you as well. You'll be able to just copy them. If you don't want to run the bot, you can literally just check out what it's doing, and you can make the decision. Do you want to do that trade or not? Right. And again, you can watch it progress. So you can watch it as it makes money, right? Okay, and then we're also launching something else called weekly office hours, where you'll basically be able to go in and we can, help you out with whatever the heck you need help with, right? So you don't have to be on the one-on-one call. You can join this group chat or this group basically Zoom call like this, where, if you need help installing something on your computer, if you need help installing an algorithm, or if you want to build an algorithm, if you have something in mind, we can actually go through that and write some of the code during that. So we're going to have weekly office hours starting very soon that are going to be really, really helpful. All right. Okay, so in other words, if you go through this all access plan, you'll be able to analyze your own investments using data. You'll be able to build trading algorithms that automatically place trades for you, right? So you'll be able to take any of these algorithms that we have and they'll automatically place trades for you. You'll get an in-depth understanding of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. You'll learn the fundamentals of artificial intelligence and a heck of a lot more. You'll also be able to get rid of expensive mistakes that cost you your life savings or worse, right? We can really help you avoid a lot of those things because we can back test things for you and you can figure out, okay, this is maybe a very bad idea to do this, right? So you could actually avoid a lot of these very expensive mistakes by going through this. We'll get rid of the need to search YouTube for days trying to figure out how to do algo trading. Guys, it takes a lot of time, and if you guys want to do this through YouTube, it's going to take you a very, very long time to figure out how to build all this stuff. Trust me, from someone who has built this, has been doing this for a long time, and has taught a lot of people how to do this. Going through YouTube a lot of times leads you down not the best path, first of all, but second of all is not really well put together, and they don't really give you code. So it will really save you a lot of time by going through that. And also very important, it will save you from getting scammed by people. They're trying to sell you fake strategies and steal your money. And honestly, I see this way too often and it really bothers me. I have clients come to me like all the time. So it's usually some guy, usually it's crypto, right? It's like, hey, give me a bunch of your money, send me Bitcoin, and I'll give you, 500% of your returns or something like that. And they give them the money and then they disappear and they can never get it back, right? And you can't get it back because it's crypto, right? It's not the US banking system, so you can't come after them that way, right? You can't reverse transactions. And on top of that, they're usually in like Russia or China or somewhere with no treaty with the US, so you can't go over there and arrest these people, right? I've seen that happen all the time, right? Now, our program is quite different from that because I do not want your money. We are not an investment fund. We are not financial advisors. I do not want your money. I'm not telling you what to invest in. Okay? You guys have code and you guys can make that decision yourself and you can run it yourself on your own brokerage account and have it trade for you. Okay. So as opposed to giving your money to someone else, you get to keep your money. You keep your money at a brokerage firm that is regulated in the United States, right? So if they screw up, you could sue the crap out of them, right? But basically, you keep your money with your broker, right? And you basically just take these algorithms, modify them however you want, and run them yourself, and you can have it that way, right? So the chance of you getting scammed goes to zero, right? Because I'm not taking your money at all, other than, obviously for payment for the course, right? So it's a very different type of model than what a lot of these people are doing, right? Okay, cool. So another way to put it, save you a lot of time and money, right? So here's basically what it took for me to make this, right? Like how long did it take for me to do this, right? So first of all, it took me over 4 years now. I say 4 years, it's actually 4 years and a bit now. We started this in November 2019, right? And not to mention all the stuff I did in grad school and whatever, but it took me many, many years to do this and over $100,000 to build out our trading technology called LumiBot, which you're going to get for free as part of the course. It took us over 500 hours, actually probably a lot more than 500 hours, creating our algo trading class. So a lot of stuff, all these algorithms there, all this code, all these things you're going to get right out of the box. It took me thousands of hours and over $200,000 creating all the rest of the classes. I had to pay all these instructors. It took quite a bit of effort to build those things out, right? It took like over 1,000 hours creating and testing all these different algorithms. So you guys get a lot of algorithms. It took me literally thousands of hours to build these things. I've been building, like I said, I've built over 100 algorithms at this point in time, trying different things. You're going to be able to skip all of that and you're going to get the benefit of what I went through, all these thousands of hours building algorithms. You're not going to have to do that, right? And also, tens of or hundreds of thousands of dollars that it took to build out our community. We have an amazing community of people that you can learn from. It's not just from me, it's also from our other instructors, it's also from other students. You guys can talk to all these people, really learn from each other. In our community, I think is one of the most valuable things that we have. So definitely super valuable there. And it cost me literally hundreds of thousands of dollars to build this thing. So you're going to get that right out of the box. Or another way to put it, or here, here's maybe some beliefs that you're having right now, and let's talk about those, right? So you might have a belief right now where you're saying, this is going to be very hard, it's going to take many hours of your time. The truth is that we've perfected this program over many years, and we have made this thing really, really simple to do, right? Right now, it takes something like an hour or two. You'll have to learn how to set up everything, right? And get this thing going. It takes like an hour or two to get it going. But once you have that going, it's actually very easy for you to run these different algorithms and modify them. So it's really not that difficult to do. And we're actually working on this thing where it's going to be one button click and you'll be able to even get that started that way, right? So if you think this is hard, believe me, it's not that hard. If you can sit through a 2-hour class and, if you can ask a question, if you're stuck, you can have this stuff up and running very, very fast. It is not that difficult. You do not need to be a coder to do this stuff. Yeah. Another belief you might have is that this is just another scam that wants to steal your money. I've kind of addressed that already, but to say it again, I do not take your money. I don't want your money. We're not investment advisors. We are not an investment fund, even though we are starting a hedge fund. That's a very different thing. Okay. I am not taking your money, right? You're keeping this on your broker and you're simply using our algorithms and you're running them yourself. So the money stays with you and you do not pass that off to anyone else. So if you're worried about getting scammed, this is not one of those things. I don't want your cash. Do not give it to me. Okay. Another belief that they might have is, you're not computer savvy and you won't be able to do this. So the truth is that, first of all, we taught thousands of people how to do this stuff. But, even, and I'll tell you in one story is, someone came to me, this was a couple of months ago. He couldn't even use Zoom, right? You guys are all on Zoom, so you all know you're at least there, right? But he couldn't even use Zoom. It literally took me like an hour to get his Zoom set up. It was so frustrating. It's like trying to get this guy's Zoom to work. And he was basically that kind of person, right? Like literally everything was so difficult. Like, okay, you got to click here, and this is how you use a web browser, right? Like he was, I think, 60 something, or maybe even 70 years old. Barely used a computer. We were able to get him to run algorithms. If we can teach a guy that took an hour to get Zoom set up, believe me, we can get you to run algorithms as well. I have 100% conviction in that. And we even have a guarantee. If I can't get you to run an algorithm, I'll even give you money back. Not only will I give you money back, I'll even send you extra cash, because it's crazy, because like everyone ends up building an algorithm. Like as long as you actually sit down in front of the computer and are willing to spend like an hour or two or three, you will definitely get your algorithms up and running. Yeah. Okay, cool. Another belief that you might have, and I keep saying that you don't need to be a coder, but the truth is, if you are a coder, you might be thinking this is too easy for you, right? You're like, this is such a simple thing, I want a more advanced program, whatever. Well, the truth is that we're also one of the most advanced programs in the world when it comes to algo trading. And I know that because I know all the other organizations out there, right? If you want to get good at algorithmic trading, we are one of the most advanced programs in the world. You can get very, very deep with this stuff. We not only show you how to do algo trading, but we show you how to do this with options. We show you how to do how to apply machine learning to this stuff. We have a very, very wide depth of knowledge that you can go through and get very good at, right? So even if you're a coder, right, and you're like, okay, I want to do this stuff, you'll be able to learn a lot from this. You'll be able to get a lot from it. And actually, the people that are coders that go through this, I find get quite a bit out of it, because you're able to apply. Not only can you take our existing algorithms, but you can like really take it to the next level, right? So if you are a coder, believe me, this is not this super simple thing that's like, oh, whatever. You're going to get a lot of code. You're going to get a lot of help to actually take things to the next level, right? Another belief that you might have is that this is expensive, and we'll talk about the price in a little bit. As I said, you're probably thinking this is very expensive and whatever. And truth is, like a lot of this kind of stuff, it is expensive. And when we build our hedge fund, we're going to charge a crap load of money to people, right? But the truth is that it's way more expensive to mess up your investments. If I had for example, you know, my mother that I was talking about, you know, they gave me like 200 grand to start with. Now she's like a multimillionaire several times over, right? If I didn't apply those skills to this, she would have kept it. Back in the day, it was in treasury bills, right? For whatever reason, I don't know why. It was earning like 3% interest. Like, would have got nothing, right? They're like literally, it's like she would have missed out on millions of dollars. You know what I mean? That's expensive, right? Missing out on that, that's the expensive part. Or taking your life savings and doing some stupid kind of investing and blowing up your portfolio. That's expensive, right? The price of this course is relative to that extremely cheap, right? Okay. Another belief that you might have is that you're new to investing and you want to develop your trading skills first. And I know someone here mentioned saying, "Oh yeah, I'm new to trading. I'm just kind of like learning my stuff." And you know, a lot of times people say, "Okay, well, I'm just learning. Let me like learn this stuff first." But the truth is that a lot of times people, when you start off with trading, people will start off with really bad habits and really bad things, right? So if you start off on the right footing here, you go through back test it, you understand the data behind it, you understand how this stuff works, you're going to be off on a much better foot from the beginning, right? So instead of, you know, learning on your own and kind of just trying to figure it out and, you know, then you lose a bunch of money, right? We can get you past that. And again, relative to what's happening with your portfolio, what we have here is extremely cheap for, you know, the amount of money, which I'm going to mention in a little bit. You know, for the amount of money that we charge for this, you can save yourselves a lot of headaches and actually make a heck of a lot of money doing this. All right. Okay, and we have some questions here. Law says need to go here, need to paste, or else make this info available somewhere. 1 hour 40 minutes so far. Yeah, I'm getting through this. I know. Sorry, there's a lot of questions today, Law. Okay. Price and plans available. Let me know. If you go to our website, lumiwealth.com, you can definitely see all of our plans there. All right. Okay, so do you guys want to see some case studies of some of the students that have gone through our courses? So I'm going to play you 2 case studies. So here, if you guys want to watch more, these are testimonials, right? If you guys want to follow along here, you can go to our page. You can actually watch these there. Let me show you 2 testimonials by students that have taken our classes, right? So first one is Sentayan. This one, Sentayan is a programmer. He joined us some time ago and basically learn how to take his programming skills and apply it to trading, right? Last time I heard, he's making something like 400% a year in his returns. He's doing quite well. He's also a very active member of our society. So let me play this for you. And to be mindful, it's like a 15-minute thing. To be mindful of your time, I'm just going to play the first like 2 minutes or so, so you kind of get the gist of it. But if you want, you can go to our website, look at our testimonials. Again, there's that website, lumiwealth.com/testimonials. You can watch the rest of the video there, and along with a bunch of other ones too, right? So let me play this for you here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you chose LumiWealth.
Sure. So I am a computer science graduate, and I am a software developer currently. I develop automations for my current company that I'm working for. And also I develop full stack applications, web apps and APIs, as well as for my company. What attracted me about LumiWealth was I loved some of their resources available on YouTube, which told me right from the beginning, like what to expect from the classes. And also, I was extremely interested to learn finance and algorithmic trading. I've been trading from a Wall Street veteran like you, Robert. I mean, you have extensive experience in leading teams into this in a particular branch of finance, and I was completely. I mean, I really wanted to be a part of that as well. I really love that during the classes we'll be going to perform like 2 live projects, which would give us like real hands-on experience, what we would expect in the real financial world. I mean, weekly 1-hour interactions with you and with the fellow students, I mean, that is always an added advantage that we have. Unlimited discussions and help that I got during my time, especially in the Discord channel that we had, was tremendously valuable to me. And also the opportunity to book, one-on-one time with you if I get stuck. I mean, that is something that is even more valuable. And that tremendously, attracted me to Lumi Wealth. And, you don't get that in other courses or any other. I mean, even if you selected a video course, you wouldn't get all these benefits. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely people love this, the live nature of things. Thank you for
Exactly.
that. I feel like you answered a bunch of the other questions we have, which is great. It's great. Just talk freely, right? I guess another.
Okay, so I'll stop that there. First 2 minutes. Again, if you guys want to keep watching, feel free to go to our website. You can watch the rest of that as well. Let me play you another one. Here's Latoya. I was actually talking about her earlier today. She's the one that basically joined us, didn't know how to code, learned how to do it throughout this. So she basically started from scratch. She built out this trading signal spot and got like a promotion after going through the program. Is quite remarkable. So let me play this for you here, and you guys can watch her as well.
Hi, my name is Latoya. I took Lumi Wealth's live algorithmic trading course, the pre-recorded options trading course, and I'm signed up to take the machine learning and data science course later this month. I'm a pharmacist by training. I have no previous background or experience in coding. As far as finance goes, I was primarily a long-term buy and hold investor until about a year before taking the course, when I began to learn more about options and day trading. I was by no means profitable consistently in my day trades. I found that with my full-time job, there was limited time for me to get enough chart time to get better at trading, since my work hours typically overlapped with market hours for options trading. I started to see advertisements for Lumi Wealth, and it was really attractive due to the ability to build algorithms to trade without constant input from me, and to be able to take some of the emotions out of trading, which was really tanking a lot of my trades. I loved the class. I was intimidated by the fact that I did not have any coding experience and was wondering whether or not I would really be able to go from zero knowledge to creating a bot within that 12-week time frame of the course. But Lumi Wealth guarantees that you will be able to create a bot, or not only do they refund you, but they pay you something like $600. So I was pretty confident about that. I joined some of the free webinars before I signed up for the courses. And I also joined their free Discord community before signing up and booked a call with them to discuss the courses. So I was really impressed by the knowledge base of the instructor during the free webinars and how responsive everyone was when I asked questions during the call and in the Discord.
Okay, cool. So that was Latoya. Again, she's been a student for some time as well and built some really, really cool stuff. All right. So in other words, who is this for? You saw two people here. This class really is for, is people who have never coded in their lives. This would be a great course for you because you don't really have to do a lot of coding, or if you want to learn, we can teach you how to do that. It's part of the program. But it's also, if you're a professional programmer, we can help you out as well. We can really take that knowledge and take it to the next level. Right. This is also for those, if you have we have some clients with a lot of money, over $1 million to invest. If that's you, this can work very well for you. We've had clients like that in the past as well, or we do have clients like that. But it's also for those of you, if you don't have a lot of cash, you're just kind of getting started, right? Will be good for you as well, right? I've worked with accounts as small as like $100, right? And help them kind of get all this stuff set up too, right? So if you're wondering if this is for you, if you fall into one of those, then this definitely you're in the right spot, right? Okay, so are you ready to see the offer, right? Are you ready to see everything that comes with this all access plan and the pricing and everything? You guys ready to see that? Okay. So again, here is what comes with the program. With our all access plan, you get 10 different things along the way. And let me go through each one of them, right? So first of all, first thing you're going to get is you're going to get our algo trading course. And what it is basically it's a 12-week long course that basically teaches you how to build your own trading algorithms, just like the top hedge funds, right? Where you're going to get out of it is you're going to learn how to back test algorithms. You're going to learn how to run your own algorithms live. You're going to learn how to create your own algorithms from scratch, learn how to modify algorithms, And you're also going to get 50 pre-made algorithms that you can use however you want. You can take the code, rewrite it, modify it, run it as is, whatever you want to do. You're going to get 50 different algorithms that you'll be able to use right out of the box. We normally sell this for $2,995. If you want to read up more about it, you can click on this link here. It'll tell you more about the course, but we usually sell it for $2,995. Okay, so you're going to get that as part of our all access plan. You're also going to get our artificial intelligence for trading course, which is an 8-week long course taught by a very smart person, Greg, who went to Stanford and Berkeley and all this stuff. Really, really smart guy. Basically teaches this course and teaches you basically the fundamentals of machine learning and artificial intelligence, how this stuff works, and teaches you how to apply machine learning and AI to analyzing stocks, like how to use this type of thing to analyze stocks. And then you also learn how to create and use your own large language model. So something like a ChatGPT for financial applications. You'll learn how to use these large language models to do all sorts of different things like analyzing the news, analyzing companies. You'll learn how to do that, all that kind of stuff, right? We normally sell this course for $2,995. Again, if you want to learn more about it, you can click on here. You can buy the course if you wanted to, right? But it is included as part of the all access plan. Okay, so far you're getting two things. You're getting two courses, each $2,995 for a grand total of $5,990 worth of value so far. Okay, but you're also going to get more. You're going to get the options trading course as well, right? Which is an 8-week long course that teaches you how to make your own trade algorithms that trade options. So you're going to get basically out of this, you're going to learn the fundamentals of options trading, basically using a data perspective. You're going to learn how to back test and trade your own options algorithms, and you're going to get 10 options algorithms, and we're adding more every week actually, but you're going to get 10 options algorithms right out of the box that you can use however you want again, right? If you want to use this to trade automatically already as it is, you can do that. You can back test different things, you can modify them, you can use it to create a new one. You get a lot of options there, right? We normally sell this class for $2,995. If you want to purchase it for that price, you can. You can just click on it here and get that. But this is also going to be included as part of our all access plan. Okay. So again, 3 courses so far, grand total of $8,985 worth of value. Right? But you're also going to get our crypto algorithms course, right? Which is an 8-week long course that teaches you specifically how to build crypto trading algorithms, right? You're going to learn how to apply this algo trading stuff to cryptocurrencies, and you're going to get over 15 algorithms that specifically trade crypto, right? So everything from trend following, Bollinger Bands, all sorts of different stuff. You're going to get those things right out of the box, and you'll be able to use them however you want, right? This course normally costs $2,995. And again, if you want to purchase it, you can click here to purchase it as well. So you're going to get 4 courses worth $11,980 so far, right? That's how, if you want to go out and buy these courses separately, that's how much it would cost you on our website, right? You're also going to get our blockchain development course, right? Which is an 8-week long course that teaches you how to build decentralized applications. You'll learn how to do things like creating your own crypto coins, how to build NFTs, how to build lending products even on the blockchain, and all that different kinds of stuff. So basically, you're going to learn the fundamentals of blockchain and cryptocurrencies. You're going to learn how to use Solidity, which is basically a programming language for the Ethereum blockchain, and you'll learn how to do that yourself, right? This course, again, normally goes for $2,995, but you'll get it included as part of our all access plan as well. Right, so again, in total now, we're at $14,975 worth of value, right, that you're going to get with our all access plan. Okay, you're also going to get our Web3 development course, right? It's an 8-week long class on how to create your own decentralized websites, things like making your own exchanges or games that use tokens, or people have you can build gambling websites. It's crazy. You can do all sorts of stuff using Web3. Basically, what you'll learn is how to integrate these decentralized apps into websites. You'll learn how to use how to create an interactive website using React.js. So you'll learn how to some web development in this, and you also learn how to combine this React.js, these interactive websites, with Solidity so that you can actually build these like really big projects using crypto, right? Normally, again, this course goes for $2,995, but it will be included as part of the all access plan, right? So in total, you're getting $17,970 worth of value so far. But there's more. You're also going to get access to our live Algo Hour community and our course, right? So this is the really cool one. We've gotten such good feedback from this one. Basically, it's a weekly class where we're constantly creating cutting edge algorithms. A lot of the stuff that I showed you earlier today came from this class. Basically, you could come in, and if you have your own idea to develop an algorithm, you're like, oh, I trade this thing and I really want to like build that, right? Then you can come in, pitch your case, and we can build it for you during class, right? Or if you don't have anything, you don't have any algorithms or you don't have any strategies that you want to automate, then you can just watch other people's algorithms being built and you can use those algorithms, right? So basically what you get out of it is you get to ask the instructor, which will be myself for this class, to build an algorithm for you. So if you have an algorithm in mind, I can build that for you during the Tuesday class. You also get a chance to watch other algorithms being created, which is, it's a huge opportunity to learn these really cool new strategies and see what strategies work really well. It's a very interesting way of learning this stuff. And you're also going to get, I'm saying 20, I think we have a lot more than 20 now, but at least 20 algorithms, and every week we're adding more, right? We normally sell this for $240 as part of our pro plan. If you join with our all access plan, this will come included with the all access plan as well. Right? Okay. So you're getting all these things here, you're getting all these courses, and you're getting the live Algo Hour, which in total, the total value that you're getting is $17,970 plus $249 a month. If you had to buy all this stuff separately, that's how much you would have to pay. Okay. But there's more. You're going to get more as part of this. You're also going to get one-on-one support, right? So basically, you're going to get 2 hours every month where you can book a call with me or someone else on my team to help you out with your algorithms or any other problems that you might be having or any help they need with anything, right? So basically, it's going to be 2 hours every month. I'm going to go over code, strategies, whatever you need help with. Normally, I charge $200 an hour for my services. So do the rest of our crew. I'm probably going to be actually upping that soon. My time is getting more and more scarce. So this is really not even $400 a month. This is really more like $600 or $700. So I'm going to up my hourly rate that I charge for people. But you're going to get part of that. You're going to get that as part of the all access plan, right? So it's as of right now, it's $400 a month worth of value that you're going to get those 2 hours every month, right? So in total, the value of all of this, of the all access plan, is $17,970 if you were to buy it separately, and you'd also have to pay $649 per month on top of that. But there's more. You're also going to get our trading signals, which I was just showing you, right? And basically, it's in Discord. You can basically follow our top algorithms minute by minute. You get to have updates whenever they trade. You get to see how they're doing. And normally we're charging right now $49 per month, right? And you're going to get that as part of our all access plan. And here's kind of, how it works. You can see the graphs every day of how they're doing. You get your notifications, right? You get support if you need some support, right? And you also get, all the back tests and any of our new stuff that we're doing, we add this to our trading signals as well. So you get all of our cutting edge stuff added into, right? So you get all those different things here. So this is 49. So basically, if you were to buy all these things separately, it'd be $17,970, and you'd also have to pay $688 per month for this. Right? Okay, but there's more, and one more thing that you're going to get as well is you're also going to get our weekly office hours, right? Which is basically a 2-hour time slot every week where you can ask any questions, get help with building algorithms if that's what you want to build. You can watch others get help. If you're stuck somewhere, you can get help with that, right? So 2 hours every week that you're going to be able to join in for these office hours and get help. So again, I charge $200 an hour. So that's essentially you're getting $400 per month to access this, right? Okay, cool. So in total, if you're to buy all this stuff separately, you'd have to spend $17,970, and you'd have to pay $1,088 per month, right? So quite a bit of stuff. You know, if you went out and bought this, it'd be pretty expensive, right? So what do you think it costs, right? Like, what do you think we're actually going to charge for this, right? Because we normally, you know, again, if you went out and bought these things separately, it'd be almost $18,000, and it'd be about $1,088 a month, right? So think about that. What do you think you'd pay for this, or what do you think this is actually going to cost, right? So, before that though, before I tell you the cost of this thing, do you want your coupon code? I promised you guys a coupon code at the beginning if you stick around. So here is your coupon code. This is still on here. This is on Black Friday. This no longer works, so I can delete that. Okay. So here is, if you guys sign up by tomorrow, I set up this coupon code to expire tomorrow at basically midnight. So you have a little bit more than 24 hours, so slightly more than 24 hours, midnight Eastern time. This coupon code stops working. But if you guys sign up by tomorrow at midnight, you get 20% off of our plans just because you guys attended this webinar, right? So there's your coupon code. When you go to our website, type in this as the coupon code, RFRWMA. I'm going to copy that. I'm going to put into the chat, right? And you guys can save yourself 20% on all of our plans if you sign up by tomorrow midnight, right? Okay, so do you guys want to know how much it costs? So how much do you think this thing costs? What do you guys think? Okay. So you're definitely not going to be paying this $17,000, right? You're not going to be paying $17,000 or $18,000. You're not going to be paying, you know, $1,800 or $1,088 per month. You're not going to be paying either one of those things, okay? So you're going to get all these things that would normally cost $18,000 for a heck of a lot cheaper. You're going to be getting it all for only $5.99 per month, right? You can subscribe and cancel whenever you want. So you do not have to stick on board. It's not one of those things that you have to commit for 2-3 months or whatever. You could sign up for 1 month. If you get what you got out of it, keep it, or you know, you can cancel after that. A lot of people decide to stay on board for longer because they want to get all of our newer algorithms as they come out. They like being part of our classes. They like the support they get. They like trying all these different algorithms out. So a lot of people do stick around for longer, but if you want to just stick around for 1 month, you can do that, right? And on top of that, it's $5.99 per month, right? Instead of this crazy $18,000, right? That we used to charge, quite frankly. Instead of paying that $18,000, you only pay $5.99 a month. But on top of that, you also get that 20% off coupon code, right? Which means that this is not $5.99. This is $5.99 minus 20%, which is, you know, what is that? $480 or something like that per month. So quite a bit cheaper, right? So you guys are getting a steal here, right? You're getting all the stuff that would normally cost tens of thousands of dollars for just, you know, a small fee every month, right? If you guys are interested, you can get it here. So here's the full plan, right? If you guys want to access it, this is basically you go to this website here. And so here's kind of what it looks like. Okay, so you can also do this if you go under plans, the all access plan, right? It's right here. Okay. Okay. And essentially you're going to go down to the bottom. There's a lot of stuff I talked about here. And you're going to, you know, add to cart. And then when you add to cart, you get the chance to put in that coupon code as well. Okay. All right. If you guys want to save more money, right? If you guys want to get an even better deal, you guys can also sign up to our annual plan, which is $4,995 a month. And if you do the math, if you were to do this, you know, every single month of $599, you'd see that essentially $4,995 is saving you 31% on top of that, right? So you're saving 31% and you're getting this extra 20% off coupon code as well. So you're getting one heck of a deal. And if you guys want to do that, you can basically go down here and for, again, $4,995 per year, you get access to all of our courses and our live algo hours and our office hour and our trading signals. You get all of that stuff for a year for only 4,995, right? And again, you have that coupon code, so you get it even for cheaper than that, right? So Osama asks, so says, thank you so much. How many months? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Osama. This one gives you 12 months, so it's a year that you get the subscription for 4,995. So that's for 12 months, right? Okay. So essentially, by going through this, if you had to do this on your own, right? If you instead of signing up for our plans and you had to do this on your own, um, this is basically what you would have to do, right? You'd have to spend, easily over 500 hours learning how to create algorithms, right? Again, when you do this stuff, you don't really need to learn how to do it. We can just give them to you. You can just use ours, right? So you don't even have to learn how to create them. Or if you really want to learn how to create them as well, we can save you a lot of time there too. Instead of spending, hundreds of hours trying to figure it out from somewhere else, you can come to us and we'll teach you how to do this stuff from scratch. We've been doing this for many, many years. We can really save you a lot of time learning how to do this. Or another way of looking at it, or actually not even another way is on top of that, also, you would have to build a lot of these algorithms yourself, right? So usually to hire an algorithm developer is something like $150 an hour. It's a pretty specialized thing to do. They charge a lot of money for this. 150 bucks an hour is actually, kind of mid-range. I've seen people charge a lot more than that. We charge 200. I'm going to start charging even more than that. Just because I don't have the time to do this anymore. But if we were to get, our developers, we charge something like 150 an hour for some of our developers too. So if you think about it, so about $150 an hour takes something like 20 hours to build an algorithm. The average algorithm takes about 20 hours, assuming you're reasonably good at coding. So it's about $3,000 to develop an algorithm, right? Pretty standard. If you go on Upwork or whatever, you want someone to build this for you, check it out. They'll quote you somewhere around the range of like $3,000 to build an algorithm, right? Now, that's assuming that this is a good algorithm, right? Assuming that this is a good strategy and assuming this is actually going to work well and assuming you got a person who actually knows what the heck they're doing, right? It's going to cost you about $3,000 an algorithm, okay? So if you think about it, we have 50 plus algorithms just in our algo trading class. We actually have a lot more now that we've built in other ways as well. But let's say even just those 50 algorithms in our algo trading class, if you want to build those yourself, 50 times $3,000, it'd be $150,000 for you to have those algorithms built elsewhere. Or you can come to us and give us, $599 minus 20%. So it's a heck of a lot cheaper to get it from us, right? And then on top of that, we'll also save you from making mistakes. These mistakes, you can lose thousands of dollars by making mistakes, right? If you build the wrong algorithm that doesn't work properly, you can literally lose thousands of dollars doing that. So this will definitely save you from all of that, right? Okay. And I also have a guarantee for you. So in case you guys aren't convinced, if you sign up and you hate it for whatever reason, this never happens, except in like crazy situations, because most people really love what we're doing. And we really take a lot of pride in that. I spend a lot of time making sure that our program is really good. But if for whatever reason you're not happy, you don't even have to give me a reason. You can just say, whatever, I don't want it, right? We'll refund you within 30 days, right? So if you sign up with us, that first month, it's $599 minus 20%. You sign up, you go through it, you're like, this isn't for me, or I don't like it, or you don't have time, or whatever. Whatever the reason is, doesn't matter. We'll fund you in full, no questions asked, right? So that way you have a lot more confidence in purchasing what we have here, right? Okay, cool. So timer's on. You have about 24 hours before this coupon code expires. I have a little countdown clock here. It doesn't actually work, but it's essentially about 24 hours from right now that this thing will stop working. So if you guys want to sign up, go to lumiwealth.com/all-access-plan. You can check it out there and make sure that you use your coupon code here to save you that additional 20% off. Let me share this link with you again here. All right, there we go. Okay, and the coupon code I'll share as well. All right, there you go. Cool. All right, perfect. Okay, so I'll leave this up here, and you know, if you guys have any questions, let me know if you guys have any last questions before we finish up for the night. Right, and I see one here from Gil. So Gil asks, are the classes live or videos you can watch at your own pace? We have a mixture of both, Gil. Right, so we have our live classes on Tuesdays that you can participate in live. We're also going to start a live class on Wednesdays as well. Right, so we're gonna have 2 live classes per week. Right. And then on top of that, all those are recorded. So you can watch those recordings whenever you want. And all these classes I showed you, they're pre-recorded as well. Right. So you get a mixture of both. Right. So if you want to kind of go at your own pace, you can do that. You can watch the classes, go through them all. Or if you want to join our live classes, you want that live support, that live help, you can do that as well. Right. So Gil, if you're talking about the options class, it is pre-recorded, yes. Yeah, so the options class is pre-recorded, and then if you need additional help with it, you can join us live and we can go through all that stuff live. Yes, perfect. No problem, Gil. Awesome. Any other questions, guys? I'll give you guys a few seconds or a few minutes to type that out. But if you guys want, you could also turn on your microphones to ask a question. So feel free to do that too. You don't have to type it out. Feel free to turn on your mics if that's easier for you. All right. Thanks, Gil. I appreciate your time and have fun in Clearwater. Thank you very much. So far, loving Clearwater. It's fantastic. We're actually going to go explore a little bit now. So we just got in. We just got in today, and we just really haven't had a chance to explore too much. So I'm actually very excited to get out there and kind of see, what's going on here, a little bit of the nightlife and that sort of thing. Thank you very much, Gil. Appreciate it. All right. So if you guys have any questions, one way that you can get those answered, there's this little box at the bottom here. This is our intercom. If you click on this, you can get a direct conversation to either me or someone else from our team. So if you have any questions, you can get that answered very quickly there, right? Or you can also email me personally if you want at rob@lumiwealth.com. You've probably gotten a bunch of emails from me. You can reply to those. You can get that. Yeah, so send an email. You can message us here, or you can also book a call if you'd rather speak with someone over the phone, right? Then you can go to our website, you go to more, book a call, and you can do that here. So I'll share that link with you. Right? So if you guys have any additional questions, feel free to do it that way. You have my email. You can book a call here. You can pick a time on a calendar with someone from our team, or you can message us here through our intercom. Either way, we have a bunch of ways for you to get through to us. Reply to any of our emails, right? And let me know if you have any additional questions going forward, right? Okay. And again, if you guys are interested in joining our all access plan, you have this coupon code available for the next 24 hours, right? And you can save yourself a nice 20% on top of everything, right? Right, awesome. Lamar says, great, man. Thanks. No problem, Lamar. You're welcome. Yeah. Awesome, guys. All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for staying through this. Today took a little bit longer than usual. I think I'm in vacation mode right now. But it was great having you guys all on the call. I hope to see you in our classes. I wish you all the best with all of your investments and with your lives in general. And I hope you have a great night. Thank you very much. And again, hopefully I'll see you guys in some of our classes soon. Right. Yeah. Gil says, time for a late night stroll on the beach. That's exactly what I want to do. Literally, that's what I'm going to do right now, Gil. That sounds great. Have a good night, guys.